finally got her running. Took a while, but I got her figured out. I'll show you what she was doing once I get this hood off. Get off. There we go. So on the carburetor, that fuel pump right there was dumping oil, gas, right into the oil sump. And so that's a no-no for me. So I just got rid of it all. And the hole in the side of that carburetor, dead end hole, doesn't do nothing. So I drilled it out. That'll hit my fuel inlet hole right here where the screw is. Put that screw in. Loctite it. Put this fuel filter in. It's got a barb on the end of it and the thread side. Loctite that in. It's not going nowhere. It actually runs like a champ. And before it used to leak gas. Now she doesn't. So that's an upgrade. The only downside is you can't use the original tank at the moment. Just to show you guys what's going on. But yeah, no, she runs great, and she grabs out to where I want her to. Yeah, it works great. I never showed you guys this, but the stuff I put in on the form during the build-off, these 3 switches, that's a voltmeter, so I can tell you what my battery's at and what this is producing. So right now it's at like 15 volts roughly. USB charger got it. That's got a cigarette lighter for it. And this switch is for the headlights, which also work. Yeah, it's on the hood. Nifty, ain't it? She works great. Even the brake light works. Press the brake in. Works great. Got a battery in it. But this battery can only run the electronics. It won't let it start over. So here, if I turn it off. Oh, maybe. I'm just using the momentum for the engine, I guess. Turn it all the way off. Try and turn it over, it won't do it. And then it drops down to like, let's say, 11 volts. So, yeah, that's no good. I think that's off. Are the lights still on? Yeah, no, they're off. Okay, we're good. Yeah, no, she's fixed. Runs great. Haven't got the drivetrains hooked up yet. I need to fix them. The rear end, the reason why it was pinching and I couldn't get to do anything is because them, and I never knew this, them brass bushings that are on the each shaft for the transmission inside it, internally, them little bushings, they got a little triangle. And I didn't know about that, and those are supposed to fit into the grooves of the transmission case, transaxle case. And so it squished the bushings and it wouldn't move. It was locked up until I took it all apart and put it back together right. Now it works fine. Front end works fine, the steering works fine. I'd show you guys, but it's frozen to the ground. Because up here in Idaho, we get a lot of snow and slush and rain and about everything in between. But I can show you guys down there, if it'll focus. I can turn the steering wheel just a little bit so you can see the shaft. It works, just tires frozen to the ground, so that's no good. But yeah, no, works great. This will probably be going up onto YouTube first and then onto all-terrain lawn tractor forum. And hopefully here, now my surgery's all done, healed and done with, don't gotta deal with that no more. Hopefully this year I'll be able to re-enter it and hopefully complete it. It's been a fight to get this thing done. You know how it is, you get busy and get going and can't get your projects done, or something else happens, and yeah, but this is one of those projects that I will get done, because I badly want to see this thing done. I'm sure a lot of other people want to badly see this thing done. So, you know, I just gotta get her done. Next thing I'm planning on doing, though, is I got an old snowmobile, and it's got chromed out exhaust pipes on it. They look real nice. Snowmobile's junk, but I can use the exhaust pipes from it and hook it up to that thing, so I'll have exhaust pipes will go clean to the back, and so it won't be blasting me in the ears every time I go and adjust the carburetor. But I don't know if I got them on me or not. Oh, I do. Sweet. I got the intake flanges all cut out on a CNC plasma table, and they work just fine. I've already bolted them up to another block, and they fit just perfectly. So now it'll just be a matter of getting the 28mm flat slides and the intake boots and the intake filter and bolt it on and be done with it. You know, but after this, and I'm throwing this idea out there, and I may or may not do this, and I haven't decided yet, but I want to see this thing's 4-wheel drive. That's great and all. There's no suspension though, whatsoever. And so the suspension, I kind of need it, because if you can tell, it's snow everywhere, there's ruts everywhere on the property, it's just awful. And so I'm thinking if I go and take it out like it is, it's going to be snapping transaxle cases left and right, and that's no good. So I was thinking of doing it the way the old Dodge Power Wagons did, and make a willow lock swivel frame. Now how this might work though, is the front half of the mower would be on its own swivel. So this part of the frame would rotate, if it'll focus in, this part of the frame from the right here up to the front transaxle, it'll rotate on its own, and the center pivot point will be right under there, and I'll just have two 90-degree gearboxes going into it, so I can keep the belt from this side over to that side and keep that good. But then I gotta think about what I gotta do back here, and if I'm gonna be sitting here and it topples over to one side, I'm gonna be SOL and I'm gonna be on the ground. My mower is gonna be, well, it won't be off, but it'll be on its own thing, because I plan on using this. This thing works great. I've put them on other stuff and they work great. But if I get this thing and the front part, I don't know what you'd call it, kind of rotating on their own independent axis, so the front tires will go like this, and the back tires can be going in an entirely different direction. So in short, I'll have some form of suspension. But I also plan on locking it, because if I go down the road and I hit a pothole, I don't want to be off the road. Well, not me off the road, not the mower, because it'll just dump me over. And the next thing is, I can't do that with these fenders or foot rests. I would literally have to cut them in half and do that on their own. But at that point, as it rotates in between the two, it'll pinch my leg. So what I was thinking is, and I really want to do this, is the GT16s that Sears used to have, which would be correct for this motor, even though it's an 18 horse, 16 horse, and 18 horse. As far as I can tell, they're the same motor. Anyways, I really like the grills and the hoods on the GT16s as well as the fenders. And here's the great thing. The footrest is totally separate, so I don't even have to use it. So what I planned on doing is just getting one of them GT16s eventually, ripping out the footrest, doing this frame idea, dropping the transaxles in, and the motor, and then having a full-on heavy-duty 4-wheel drive lawnmower that's got wheel lock swivel frame. That'll be amazing. The only thing I can't figure out though is the shifting. If I shift it, because what I want to do, get this piece of tin out of the way, is I want to be able to have the two shifters for the two transaxles right next to each other in this type of shifter. It's like that one shifts, yada yada yada. And I want to have two of them right next to each other to where I can shift them back and forth between the two on the fly. So I can have fully selectable, so I can, let's say, have this front end just going and the back end being neutral, so I have front wheel drive, or have all wheel drive, or have just rear wheel drive, you know. And that'll be amazing once it's done. But I gotta figure out, if I want to do that swivel frame, how the heck I'm gonna do that. The only thing I've come up with so far is by using this thing, the deck adjustment lever, which I don't need to use anymore, to do that. But I don't really like that because it looks so goofy shifting like this. I mean, for some of you that might make sense, and that's fine by you, but I really like looks, and in terms of that, I just don't like it. I don't like that lever. I already tried to rip it out, and for some reason I can't, because they got it welded in all weird. So you literally can't take it out. There's probably some way, oh no, I guess I'm just dumb, there's a snap ring there. Anyways, I'll take it out eventually. But once this is all said and done, this thing's going to be a mean machine. It was already going to be a mean machine because it's going to pop up that motor to the moon. And that'd be wicked in of itself. But if I ain't got no suspension to go off-roading, it's kind of pointless. I mean, you guys already know, or hope you guys know, and if you haven't, go look on the build-off forum for 2022. This mower's name is Death Wish. You can find it pretty easy. Even if you just look it up in Google, Death Wish 4x4 LT1000, you'll find it immediately. But that thing has the rear transaxle. I locked it with a spool locker that I bought off eBay. In hindsight, I shouldn't have done that. It was $40, and I thought I'd just drop right in. I'd be able to have a locked transaxle, and that would have been great. But we had to do some weird adaptations to it to get it to work, and I don't know if I like that. So I think I might use Doc Sprocket's dock locker to do that, because that'll be way easier and probably way stronger than having the two are they hot rolled or cold rolled axles? I can't remember. Anyways, they're weak. They're not strong. So if I think it's cold rolled, that's better. Cold rolled axle, that'll be great. I'll be set, and I probably won't break any axle cases. But, however, the front transaxle, I haven't gotten into it yet, and I'm not going to lock it, because if I do, it'll be harder than heck to steer, and that's no good. But I still, however, do need to get into that thing, because I got bearings, and I put bearings in that transaxle, and I want to put bearings in this transaxle as well. It's already got bearings in the down there in the hubs, but in the hubs and knuckles, it's got one on the transaxle side of the hub, on the knuckle I mean, and it's got one on the hub, which is great. That's great. I gotta figure out how to grease them, but it's great. And then the drive system, if I do that wheel locks frame, it'll make the belt work so much easier, because I just have one belt go. It won't be one big long belt that's like 100. Probably the belt that'll probably be needed on this will probably be like 130 inches if I just do it normally, and I don't want to do that, because if I break a belt, I'm dead in the water. I can't move the thing. And I can't imagine the amount of stress on that belt it'll have if I do use just one belt. But if I have a belt that wraps around that pulley, and then it kind of does a thing, and it goes around back, loops around the 90-degree gearbox, with a pulley there, and then that gets transferred through the frame to the rear end to another pulley to the end of the transaxle. That'll be the second belt. But this one will come back around, wrap around, go around the engine and do its thing. And that'll hopefully create a lot less strain on both belts. And I did the holy pulley mod to the engine and that transaxle. I was gonna do it to this one, and I already have. I got a pulley that's already got the holes in it. I just gotta get it on it. But I just kind of ran out of time and other stuff happened. But that's the future plans for this. Hopefully that'll get done. At the very least, I'm gonna get this thing done to where it's painted. And I want to do a blue and black paint job. I want to get some lettering for the fenders that say Death Wish on them. And it'll be wicked. But at the very least, I want to just get normal frame done. At least strengthen it. Because that thing's going to bend and twist in so many different angles. And oh, that'll be a nightmare. But at the very least, get it done. You know, to where I can finish the build off for 2023 complete, to say the least. And my plans for 2023 are to at least get the dual Mikunis on there, the flat slides. I'm not so sure about getting the flywheel, the pistons, and the connecting rods from ARC. I'm not so sure about that anymore. A year or two ago I was, because I had extra money, but you know how it is. Something breaks down, you got to spend that money, and it's gone. But if I can get that done, I'll be set. Like, this thing will be able to rev to, oh, let's say 5, 6, 7 grand, I don't know. That stock, I can't find a single camshaft anywhere for that engine. Well, like a performance one. I can find normal camshafts just fine. Those are everywhere. You go on eBay and there's 5 or 6 of them up at a time. But for that, there's no performance camshafts. And no springs, nothing. And I'm also contemplating doing a porting job, port and polish on that engine. Because it is a flathead. And people on the forum, you know, on YouTube, they all say, don't mill the heads. So I won't mill the heads. I'll just leave it as it is, but just port and polish and do my thing. But that's the plans for it in the future. This is all I've got done to it so far. So tell me what you guys think about it down in the comments or on the forum, because I would love to hear your guys' recommendations or suggestions. Because this thing is come together from so many different parts of the community, it's insane. I originally got inspiration from a YouTube video that was like 10 years old. I'm like, hey, I got one of them, so let me do it. And so here we are, we're doing it. And so many different ideas, like that carburetor delete thing, that came from a racing channel. I don't remember the name, but I watched it and they did the delete, and I'm like, you know, if it comes down to it, I can do it. And so I did. And hopefully the future locker and that will be Doc Locker, and so he'll be part of this. I just kind of want to make this thing a big, huge hodgepodge of everybody's ideas and all that. I've put my ideas into it. I'd like to see your guys' ideas into it. So if you have any ideas, put them down. Tell them to me. I don't care. Message me. It's available. Well, I think that's all. So I'm going to let you guys go. Back to watching whatever you were watching before, or reading whatever you were doing before. But have a good day. Happy holidays. Bye-bye.